All right, so Sukuna, we're going to be talking about everything that's important before you summon and talk about if he is worth it and in what cases may he not be worth it. So that's what we're going to discuss. Overall, I think this is the perfect time for me to talk about this because we basically have a grasp of the main things coming for the 9-month anniversary on Global, which will entail Honored One Gojo, Teen Shoko, and probably a Teen Ghetto. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind is we don't know the SP buffs, so maybe there's going to be some broken ass blue DPS that like maybe Blue Nanami becomes insane, but for now we don't know, right? So we're going to go off of what we know and talk about why Sukuna is so good and who should and shouldn't summon for him. So, is he someone you should summon for? I would say 70 to 80%, maybe even 90% of the player base should probably summon for Sukuna, right? Now, why he's so good is because, well, his damage is just that high. He's hard to kill and his damage is just that high, okay? He's been good for so long and still has not been power creeped by the half anniversary currently happening on JP. So yeah, he's literally still the #1 DPS. I don't know what to tell you. He is that good, okay? He just is. It's kind of crazy. Honored One Gojo is not considered better than the Sukuna, and Sukuna doesn't even have a stat buffer to help him. It's insane. It's actually insane. So what does Sukuna do? We're going to talk about that and then get into his value. So the main thing, why he's so good, his ult just does big damage AoE and then also does laceration damage for 4 turns. And then when you use the skill 3 with the max stacks, that's also going to give even more laceration damage, and each stack is going to increase the laceration damage. So you're going to get to some insane, ridiculous numbers. And the ult actually allows you to use laceration essentially twice in a row because your skill 2 doesn't take any cursed energy. So you're really safe to use the skill 3 at least twice in a row, which is definitely gonna be huge, right? Now, more than that, he's gonna have a very nice heal, which is gonna make it hard for him to die, and then also resistance to like almost everything, which is good because it actually lets you get some ult gauge from being hit where he can't be stunned and shit like that. But he's going to be able to get the ult gauge where Gojo cannot be stunned, but he cannot get the ult gauge. So if I were to compare how it is with Sukuna to Gojo, I'd rather how Sukuna's immune because at the same time, he's also getting heals. So it's not like he's going to die anyway, at least for right now. Of course, Gojo's value with the attack community is once you get past turn 30, well, past turn 30 above 61 means you're one tap, right? After 61, you're taking like 500k damage from an enemy, right? So that is good for attack community. It has actually let me get past turn 30 where Sukuna cannot do that, but I digress, right? So Sukuna's damage is just that good, has not even been power crept, or not even Honored One Gojo is at this level yet, but Honored One Gojo has very good damage. I just think that the way Sukuna works, it's still like for one-time damage, especially Sukuna's is better because over that 4-turn period, I think the APT for Sukuna was 92 million. While Honored One Gojo comes close, Sukuna just takes the cake, I would say. Overall, especially because it is AoE for the most part. So we have to keep that in mind. Now then, should you summon? Honestly, I'd say most people should, especially new players, right? People who haven't been playing or are returning, right? Should definitely summon on Sukuna. And the main reason is because you can't get Jogo higher dupes. Now, why this is important is because most Jogos that work are the ones with more dupes in them, right? And for newer players, realistically, you can't get that because they release 2 powerful enemies a month, which means you could get roughly about 1,000 to 1,200 Phantom Medals per month, which means that's not even enough for one free-to-play unit per month. And you can't get Jogo up, especially if you just return. So that's something I do want to stress. For newer players, Sukuna is pretty much a must summon. He's going to also let you get all those tower clears, which is going to be good, right? For sure. But you don't even need Sukuna to get those tower clears for being real. You have Domain Gojo, no matter who you're using, you're getting those tower clears. Okay, that's the thing. People want to act like Sukuna is the only one who could clear those tower floors. Hell no. You put Domain Gojo with any unit from day 1 and you're going to be fine, right? You're going to be fine. So just want to emphasize that. But for newer players, yeah, no. Now for veterans, it's up to you. If you don't really care for Sukuna and maybe want more the Shibuya units, what if you want Maharaga? What if you want a Fuga Sukuna, a Jogo, right? A Toji, those type of units, 0.2 Domain Gojo, right? All those units, Choso. Then I would maybe not summon for Sukuna if you rather have those units because you'd live with like a dupe 3 or 4 Jogo, right? Most of the Jogos that clear, and even the one that cleared floor 70, right, a blue floor. And remember, Sukuna is not going to work type neutral / type disadvantage anymore. Above floor 70, you have to be type advantage or else you pretty much get one tapped and you cannot ult. You're just not ulting because it's going to continuously lower your ult gauge if you're not the right color. So Jogo can work in the same floors that Sukuna will work, and it's free to play. That's what I want to emphasize, just the option. I'm not saying it's a necessity. I'm not saying you should do it, but if you want to do it, I am saying go for it. Okay, that's basically all I'm saying regarding the Jogo situation, because people made it seem a little too much like I'm saying everyone needs to get Jogo. No. It's just if you're able to get Jogo max duped and you don't care for Sukuna, then this is a perfectly free option. Literally free, costing you 0 fucking cubes. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. So, for most people though, Sukuna is still going to be good. Sukuna is the one I'm using, however, he's max duped. I do think most people should get him dupe 1 if I'm being completely honest. I don't think people should get him higher. I don't think dupe 0 is a good spot. Dupe 1 is perfect. Okay, you get him dupe 1 and you are chilling. Okay, dupe 1 is fine. Dupe 1's going to get you through most of the content and you'll be very happy. Now, Sukuna is also going to work very well with a little girl called Miwa. Okay, Miwa is actually very good in the higher tower floors because she's just able to nullify all the attacks, which is going to let the other supports stay alive. Not necessarily Sukuna, but more so the other supports need help from Miwa. Her counters are pretty much up 100% of the time. And I made a video, I think it was like 40 for 40 turns. She just counter. I got maybe hit 5 times out of like 60 attacks, or maybe 40, right? It's crazy. So if you get Miwa in the future, she's going to be on standard banner soon after the new floors, then it's going to be good. That's more like future projection, but still very, very good. So I will say, all in all, I do think that Sukuna is worth your cubes, and more to add on to that is that Honored 1 Gojo, this Honored 1 Gojo, and then this Teen Shoko right here, both of these units, I would say, are not a necessity, right? But it's the same way that Sukuna is not a necessity. You have other options, right? And it's basically up to you to choose. All of these units are around the same level. I would say Shoko is absolutely insane. And overall, the value between these 3 units just now that I mentioned, it would be Shoko, Sukuna, and Honored 1. Why is that? Sukuna will be much more easily power crept. Hell, Jogo is doing the job for him, but supports have not been getting power crept. We're still using day 1 SR Yaga, but are we still using day 1 Green Nanami for everything? No. Are we still using Blue Gojo? No, right? So that's what I mean. They are going to SP buff blue units that are DPSs, green units that are DPS, red units that are DPS, yellow units that are DPS, but we have not seen one buffer or debuffer that actually increases your damage through those debuffs or buffs get buffed yet. Right, in an SP buff. Of course, get what happened, but I mean specifically through an SP buff. So long-term supports will have more value, which is all I want to emphasize. So that's kind of it. But at the end of the day, if you summon for Honored 1, Sukuna, or Shoko, whoever you decide, it will be a W to your account. I cannot. Everyone's situation is different, so I cannot give you guys a full plan unless I see your account and you're fine to agree with it. Because for the most part, no matter what, this is an IP game, which means you're going to summon for the characters you like. However, there's also a way to maximize the characters you like and also being able to beat the content, because why the hell, like, unless you're a spender, if you're free to play, you're playing because you do enjoy the content to an extent. Because spenders, one thing they could do is just collect, be happy, hop off. That's what I do for Dokkan, right? But if you're free to play, I don't see the mindset. You could let me know, but you still want to maximize it. And I want to let you know we're probably going to get a Fuga Sukuna for 2nd anniversary. So if you're fine waiting, then cool. If you want to get your red ghetto that's probably going to come out, or your Honored 1, then you do that. But I would say Sukuna is just a net positive for most accounts. With all that said and done, I think Sukuna is worth summoning for, but is not a necessity at all, especially if you have Jogo at a higher dupe level. I think you will live. Thank you guys for watching this video. Here's to hoping maybe Blue Gojo gets an SP buff soon. That would be very sick. For the people who don't have Sukuna, this could be a massive W. I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.